Alright guys, Sunday, May 28th, just after 10 a.m. And looks like a pretty nice day out today. I don't know how long it'll last, but the sun's out right now anyway. What are we at? We are at T-minus 112, as you can see there on the calendar. So I'll give you a quick shot of the differential sort of semi-assembled. We've just put the bolts back in temporarily. I don't have a gasket in yet. I haven't changed the pinion seal. But I thought I'd put the parts back together just to for ease of storage, let's say. And I don't want to lose anything, so we'll take it apart once I get the axles back from being broken, and once I get the new oil seals put on those. And I have a pinion oil seal on order, so I'm waiting for that as well as the gaskets for this as well have been back ordered. So anyway, just thought I'd give you a quick look at that. It looks 100% better than it did when it came off the car. I do have the diff mounts in the dining room part stash, so we'll pull those out at some point and we'll attach them once we get back to getting ready to fit this into the chassis. That's it for now, guys. We'll figure out something to do and we'll bring you back. Yeah, this thing here is still on the table, so we should probably get this cleaned up and finished off, and at least a quick coat of paint on the top side. Bottom side, we're probably just going to leave it as is, and we'll spray that once we get the engine plate back on the engine. We'll just clean it up with a wire brush, fit it, and then paint it from the back side for any of the bits that are showing. Alright guys, we'll come back. Alright guys, we've given that engine plate a good wire brush and then a quick sanding with 80 grit to give it some scratch so the paint sticks. So it's been cleaned off with rubbing alcohol, so we're just about ready to spray paint it. I thought I'd give you a quick before shot of that so you can see, and we'll come back later when it's done. So where do I go from here? Got a big mess in the trailer, that's for sure. So this rotisserie is taking up quite a bit of space. So I know I got a bunch of parts on these bins over here that I need to go through, and I know the carburetors are over there. I'd kind of like to do the carburetors as a fun project, see if I can get them looking better. So just trying to decide what I want to do. Regardless, I'm going to have to make some space to be able to get to those bins. So I'm not sure what's in here. I'm not sure if those are leftover bits or actually for the car, so we'll have to go through those as well. I know those trailing arms are spares, and those are spares. Anyway, we'll figure it out. Alright, we managed to make a little bit of room, and we found a resting spot for the diff temporarily. There'll be like an oven in there, so it'll bake that paint a little bit more. So pulled out the carbs, and probably can't see those very well because of the sun, but we'll have a better look at those. Maybe the sway bar could be a project for the evening, one evening. Got the water pump and water pump housing out, so that could be another little project. And we got a bin full of parts under there that's full of stuff, so we had enough to keep us going for a little while. So I don't know, I'm thinking of playing around with the carbs just for fun. Anyway, we'll see. Alright guys, just had a quick bite of lunch and we're back out in the actually in the driveway. We're working out in the sun, so as you can see, I've decided to start on the carburetor, so we've just got them here on the table. We're going to we got the still camera. We're going to take some pictures of the linkage setup so I don't get that put back together wrong. So these are Weber DCOE 40s, DCOE2 40s. They are Italian Webers, which is a good thing. I'm sure they've probably been on the car for 25 or 30 years, who knows. But they've seen better days, obviously, and need to be cleaned, amongst other things. I haven't had them apart, and I haven't had a look internally yet, so we'll see what those look like as well once I get the tops up. But the plan is to, as far as the bodies are concerned, is to maybe try to do a little bit of soda blasting on these and see if we can get them looking a little bit better. So I think that's what the plan is, and like I said, we'll take some still photos and we'll start the disassembly. Oh, the other part I was going to mention, once I do get them apart and get the bodies soda blasted, or I'm going to attempt to soda blast them, I wanted to really get this into a ultrasonic cleaner. So I may be investing in or borrowing an ultrasonic cleaner to get these cleaned internally. So that's the plan anyway. Not liking what I'm seeing so far. Got some weirdness going on here. Not sure if this is just gasket material in here that the guys applied in here, but I'm not liking what I see here. so far. Anyway, we'll get into it a little bit more detail. He had these O-rings in here for some reason. They shouldn't be there. Definitely shouldn't be there. These carbs should have had air horns on them, and they didn't, which is unusual because they don't perform very well without air horns. So yeah. Anyway, we'll get to the bottom of it. Alright, just working on the bottom linkage. A lot of this looks like it's sort of fairly custom work. A lot of stuff sort of welded together, it looks like. Doesn't look like it's a stock kit. Anyway, we'll take note of how everything's put together so we can put it back together properly when we go back to install it. Alright guys, so we've got the carbs broken in into their various components. We are going to separate the manifolds from the carbs, so we're going to do that next. But obviously the fuel rail is here. Looks a little homemade if you ask me, but I guess it worked. Here's the top linkage in one piece. So little customization here. These have been welded on here. Usually they are fixed on there with some nuts, but these are welded directly to the shaft. And then here is the linkage for the attaches to the bell crank for the throttle. So that looks a little homemade too. Anyway, we're going to, like I said, we're going to take the manifolds off the carbs, and then we're going to probably play around with the soda blaster and see if we can get some of this crud off. So what they did in order to keep the chokes in, or the venturis in, they actually siliconed this shut. They actually put an O-ring in here and siliconed it all so these wouldn't come out. Normally these are fixed in with the stacks that are attached to these nuts here. So I guess because they weren't running with the velocity stacks, then they had to figure a way out to keep the chokes and the venturis in. So interesting. Well, you see what I mean here. So they've got this channel here, and they've got an O-ring in here that they've just siliconed in around it. So when we take that out, that leaves this to be free floating and removable. So anyway, we're not going to go back with that arrangement. We're going to do it properly. So bye-bye silicone and O-rings. Alright guys, we've separated the intake manifold from the first couple of carbs, and you can just see it's looking a little bit better here. So these are the components, and we got one more to go down there. These are looking fairly homemade. I see a lot of welding and brazing around the flanges, and even the tubes look like they are brazed the whole length. So I don't know if those are custom made or not, but anyway, they're going back on the car. Alright, we're just charging up the compressor so we can do our soda blasting test. So just wanted to take a before shot of these carbs so you can see how grungy they are. You can get a pretty good idea. So we'll give the soda blaster a shot and see if we can get some of this grunge off of here. And again, follow-up step would be the ultrasonic cleaner. Clean all the passageways and to clean them internally. There you go. Hold your breath. Sort out where things stand for some.
Sequence, and he leads that group. And he
It's definitely working. Alright guys, I'm pretty happy with the results from a $14 Princess Auto Harbor Freight spot blasting gun that I've just got filled with basically a $2 worth of baking soda. Did a pretty good job of cleaning up most of the grime from the carburetor on the exterior, you can see. So worst part's down the bottom. It's still got some gas residue down there that's on there, caked on there pretty heavily, so we'll probably have to go out after that with some carburetor cleaner and a toothbrush. But for the most part, it came up pretty good. Obviously, it needs to be polished. I did actually just get some wires out quickly and did a little bit here, and you can see that came up not too bad. So yeah, I think these are gonna come back okay. For comparison purposes, here is the before carb, and obviously pretty grimy. You know, quite a big difference between the before and afters. Let me just take you around the top. There's the front, or the rear actually, of the carb. So, other side. So as you can see, makes quite a big difference. Gets down into pretty much most of the nooks and crannies pretty well. So doesn't take off heavy rust, so obviously we're going to have to get the wire wheel out for that, or the brass wheel out for that. So, but for the most part, like I said, for a $2 box of baking soda, I'm pretty happy with those results. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. We'll continue on cleaning, although I'm almost out of baking soda. I just bought 2 boxes as a trial, and need to go and get a couple more boxes. Alright guys, we spent about an hour or so just playing around doing a little polishing with the Dremel, and it's looking quite a bit better. Still not perfect, obviously. I need to get some more Dremel polishing discs, so and probably some more or different compounds. This is just with the Meguiar's aluminum polish. So anyway, just thought I'd play around a little bit and see as good as I could get it with the tools and polishes that I have in-house. Remarkably better than that for a comparison. So it's probably about a couple hours total, I guess, investment in that carburetor. So considering that these are about $350 a piece to have sent out and micro polished, I don't think that's too bad. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. We'll continue on cleaning up the other 2 carbs. Probably going to go in and have a quick break for dinner, and then we'll get out here a little after and keep on tinkering. Alright guys, we're back from dinner, and the first thing I'm going to do is move this engine plate that's now freshly painted into the Pathfinder just to get it out of the way. And I'm going to give this garage a bit of a cleaning. It's my table's a bit of a mess. I want to start working on something else. We'll continue on the carbs tomorrow. I do need to get some more baking soda, so we will get that tomorrow. Here's what I'm using. 1 kilogram box, like I said, it's about $2.50 a box, I think, something like that. So we'll get some more of that tomorrow, and we'll finish up the other 2 carbs. So that means we're looking for a project tonight, and I think what we'll do is we'll probably start working on this water pump and get that cleaned up and ready for paint as well. So I'm going to clean the garage up first, like I said, and move a few things around. Alright guys, so like we mentioned, we're going to work on this water pump and water pump housing. I've taken the heater pipe off, so we'll work on that separately. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take the pump right off the body. It's only 3 nuts basically to get this off, so I think we'll do that, and it should make it a little easier to clean this up. Alright, we'll come back. Well, internally this water pump looks really good. There's absolutely no corrosion or buildup in there to speak of, and obviously the water pump and the impeller looks very good as well. So I don't know if this was a recent change by the previous owner. Maybe he put a new pump on this before he sold it to me, but that's looking pretty good, so I'm happy about that. We'll just, like I said, we'll get it cleaned up with a wire brush, and we'll get it into paint, and we'll put that in the trailer. Alright guys, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but we've got the piping all cleaned up. We've got the water pump itself all cleaned up. And then we've got the water pump housing all cleaned up, front and back. So that's looking pretty good. So I think what we'll do is we'll tape off the machine surfaces, and we'll get it into paint. Alright guys, end of the night. We've got the first coat of paint on, and we've decided to go black on the water pipe. We've decided to go black on the water pump housing, and we're going with a gray, a cast iron gray on the water pump pulley. I'm using for that the spray gray from Eastwood, which is supposed to be a cast iron look. So I kind of like that look once that gets put back on the face of the housing. I think it looked kind of sharp, so that's what we're doing. So maybe another 2 coats, and that'll be it for the night. And we'll upload this, and we'll get back out here tomorrow. I've got the next couple days off work because I worked last long weekend and the weekend before, so at least I get those days in lieu. So I've got another couple days out here to enjoy myself and make some progress on the car. So hope to catch up some of the days I lost. Anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. Just gonna spray those a couple more times, and then we're in for the night.